It's almost summer, which means it's time for a seasonal makeup refresh, kind of a seasonal shop my stash. I just went through my collection and chose a ton of different products that I feel are going to inspire me in the summer. I do wear my makeup seasonally, and the seasonal color palettes are what usually inspire me. I'm going to show you bronzers, blushes, highlighters, and everybody's favorite eyeshadow palettes. If you like Shop My Stash videos and this sounds like fun to you, then stick around. Hi, I'm Andi. Welcome or welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here. We're going to start with bronzers. Contours stay the same for me all year round because I only have two of them. And the first one is the Sephora Contour Stick. Love this. We'll continue to repurchase this. Let's see how much I have left. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I feel like this product goes very quickly. I do use it daily, and I do my makeup 6 to 7 days a week. Last month, I think I did my makeup 26 times, so this will always stay in. And then I also have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand Contour, and this one is the Fair Light. This is the shade Fair Light. It's the lightest shade, and it is the coolest shade, which is why I use it as a contour. I don't love the packaging on this. And I was talking with Ash today, my friend Ash, and I think I'm going to rehome. I'm going to rehome these into a little receptacle that has a doe foot on it. I think that's going to make me very happy. I also have a blush and two highlights that are the beauty wands, and I'm going to do the same thing with those, pretty sure. We have a few cream bronzers. They all might look the same to you, but I like variety. I really love variety. So this first product I have been using the heck out of, and so I'm keeping it in here because I'm almost done with it. That's all. That's all that's left. So I do want to finish this. So I am keeping this in here. This was in for spring. Might have been for winter. I can't remember where I got it, but I did get this NPR from Versed. But I also have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand in light medium, which is a little bit more of a warm shade and works really well as a bronzer for me. I have the Anastasia of Beverly Hills cream bronzer in the shade Amber. And that is what that looks like. It's very similar. It is. Like I said, I like variety. I got this from my friend Laura, and I love it. It is one of my favorite cream bronzers. So I'm going to bring that in because this is definitely a summer shade for me. It's very warm, and it's a little bit darker, but in the summer, I'm a little darker. So it actually works out really well. The last cream bronzer that I'm bringing in is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Golden Days. And I did rehome all of my putty bronzers into these tins. It makes it so much easier to grab them with a brush. So there is that. Again, very similar. I think this one might be just a little darker, and that is fine because these products are going to be with me all summer long. And depending on when I do my switch over for fall, they'll be with me in the fall too, because I'm still a little darker in the fall. I do have two more cream bronzers. They were sitting over here to the side. I have the Persona, and this is just, what's it say, bronze multi-stick in the shade Sahara. Again, this is a little darker, but it blends out beautifully and perfect for summer. I got this from my friend Laura as well. And then this is the KVD Mod Con. This is a contour, but it is way too warm for me to be a contour. And if I'm being honest, I'm not entirely sure that I love it. It is more of a gel consistency. And while it does blend out, it's sometimes a little patchy because it's a gel. It doesn't like stick to your face, so it moves around a lot. And so that's what you're left with. And the reason that I'm bringing this in is because I want to use it and see if I actually still like it. I remember liking it, and then I remember not liking it, and then I haven't used it since. So I want to make sure that I actually like it and see if it has a place in my collection. So now let's go to the powder bronzers. I have the Item Beauty. This is the Swipe. I don't know why I try to do this without my glasses on because I can't see anything. Swipe and Glow. This is the Swipe and Glow in the shade Vibes. As you can see, it has a pan in it. So the reason that I'm keeping this in is, again, I want to finish it. I want to see if I can finish this year. So this is staying in, but because I also love variety, I'm bringing in two other bronzers. I have the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer in the shade All Buttered Up. I have two of these. I have a lighter one and I have this one, and I've not used either one of them at all. And I love the blushes. I know that this can be a little bit more red toned, but in the summer, I'm a little bit more red toned. So that might be actually be perfect for summer. And then the last single powder bronzer I have is the Revolution Bronzer Reloaded. This is definitely a summer bronzer for me because it is very warm and it is a little darker. You can see it's dark, it's warm, but it blends out beautifully. I just put it on top of that cream bronzer, but it blends out very nicely. And I just had this in a project a couple of months ago, and I was glad to put it back because in the winter, I am very pale, and that shade does not really work for me that well. And the reason that I'm only bringing in 3 powder bronzers because I have 2 face palettes that I love the bronzers in, and I do Face Palette Friday. Not a video, I do it on my community tab and I do it over on Instagram. So this is the Belgian Waffle. I'm sure you've all seen that. I mostly use these 2 shades here. I will occasionally dip into these for my eyes. And then a more recent purchase for me is the Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team palette, and the Butter Bronzer, which is my holy grail bronzer, is in this palette. There's also a matte bronzer here. This one's a little bit glowy, and this one is very matte. So I can also use those, especially on Face Palette Friday. We are now moving on to blush, and you guys, I have a ton of blush in here. A ton of blush. As I said before, I love variety. Some of these are very similar to each other, but I like the formulas of some better than others. Some of these are new products that I have never used, and I think that the summer is a really great time to bring them in. We're going to start with the cream blushes, and I have the e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Stick in the shade Luminous Berry. This is staying in from last season because, as you can see, I only have that much left, and I do want to finish it. This is on my plan to pan this year. So that is going to stay in, as is the Peach Bums. And not because I want to finish it, but because I don't have very many peach cream blushes. Actually, I think this is the only actual peach. I am going to swatch it for you. It is very pretty. I have been using this quite a bit when I do warm looks, and it's more of a blush lighter, honestly, but it works really well on top of my foundation underneath my powder blush to give some glow, to give some luminosity, and it's a very pretty shade. I also have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow blush. This is a Wet n Wild Mega Glow in the shade Floral Majesty, and it is a little bit of a peachy pink shade. So that's why I'm bringing this in as well, is because I think it will work really well in the summer. Let's see how much of that I have left. Yeah, quite a bit, quite a bit. I know I used the heck out of this last year after I got it. You guys, these are so good. And then I have the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Bronzer. This is just a deluxe sample, but it is so pretty, and I love it. You just need a little bit, and it blends out so beautifully. And it is very warm. This is in the shade Kiss of Mauve. I don't think that this is mauve at all, although it's a bronzer, not a blush. So maybe that's why it's a little bit warmer. But it is very pretty, and I enjoy using it. So I'm bringing that in. I have a few ColourPop Super Shock Cheeks. This is in the shade Brute Flute. This has been in since winter because, see that? I want to finish it. It's probably going to take the rest of the year. But this is in my plan to pan. This is my oldest cream blush that I have. And it's so pretty. It's a very pretty rosy brown shade. And I love using this when I do neutral looks, a warm neutral look. It's very pretty. Also, for some warm looks, I have the shade Strike. This is a little older as well, but as you can see, it is a kind of a brown, a peachy brown. Very pretty. And then the last of the Super Shocks I have is called Digital Baddie. And this one was in the Last Chance sale. This is a matte blush, so it doesn't have as much color payoff as the more shimmery, creamy ones, but it's still very pretty pink. I have one cream single, and this is a Sydney Grace cream blush, but I have it in my Makeup Geek because it's the only one of the only things I have with a lid. And this is in the shade Dusty Pink. And it's very, very pretty. It's very emollient. It is a little darker, but sometimes I like to do dark, sultry summer night looks. And there it is. But blended out on the face underneath a powder blush, beautiful. Or even if I use it to underpaint because it is so dark. But this is a beautiful formula. And I'm really happy that they went to pans instead of the little pots because the little pots were impossible to get a brush in. I have two Melt cream blushes. This is called Daydreamer, and this is also kind of a brown toned blush. Very, very pretty. Let me put a little bit more on there. There it is. It's very pretty, great for summer. And this is called Pink Sand. And the reason I'm bringing this in mostly is because I don't use these very often, and they are beautiful. I love a cream blush. And that's what that looks like right there. A few more, and then we're going to go to powder blushes. This is another e.l.f. putty product. This is a putty blush in the shade St. Bart's. And I love this for summer. As I said, I did rehome them. This is a beautiful red. And man, red blush is in right now. But when you blend it out, it's just such a beautiful shade. So I'm very excited to use that again because I haven't used it since last summer. And then finally, for cream blushes, I have 3 of the Nude Stick stacks. I bought these during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty after seeing Donna feature them in her collection and declutter videos. I had to have them. There's actually one more that I want, and it is more of a coral. This one is called Love and Roses. I just love this packaging. It has a little mirror in case you needed that. But these are very cream to powder. They're kind of moussey feeling. And oh my gosh, I have not used them yet. And I bought them in March. That is what that one looks like. Beautiful shade. Probably going to be my favorite because I am a mauvey girl. And then we have Pink Love, which is this shade right here. I haven't even swatched this one yet. And that is what that looks like. Very, very pretty pink. And then this is the one that I got instead of the coral. And this is called Fruit Punch. And that's because red blushes are really in right now. And I don't have very many red blushes. And this is a very pretty red pink. And let me blend it out a little bit, but it is so freaking pretty. I cannot wait to use that. I can't. So those were all of my cream blushes. I do have some powder blushes here. I don't have as many powder blushes as I did cream blushes. I kind of went ham because there's so many that I've either neglected and really want to use them again, or like the Nude Stick stacks, they're brand new and I really want to use them. So let's start with the 2 things that are staying in from last time. First is the e.l.f. Primer Infused in Always Rosy. And the reason that this is staying in, again, is because I want to finish this year. So this is a blush that I use quite often. And then we also have the ColourPop in Just My Pluck. This came out with the Orchid You Not collection. And you guys, look at that. It's almost gone. It's almost gone. So of course I'm keeping it in. And this is so beautiful with cool pink looks, which I don't do a whole lot of those in the summer, but I do them. I mean, cool pink looks. I'm wearing it today because I love a cool pink look. I do. And then we have 6 others. This is by The Balm, and this is Cabana Boy. And I did have this in the spring, but I didn't use it once because I had other pink blushes that were in projects that I really wanted to get some use on. So there's that one. This is probably one of my oldest blushes. This and this are my oldest blushes. I've talked about this a little bit before, but I have my hair license. I did hair for over 20 years. I was a colorist and a hairstylist. So the place where I can go get my products for a very discounted price, Cosmoprof, if you've heard of it. They used to carry the balm products, and the prices in there are wholesale. So I was able to get the balm for very, very discounted prices, like 40% off equivalent. So I bought this then, and that was, guys, I don't even know how long ago that was, but there's a very, very nice divot in there, but man, it's still going strong. And I will swatch it for you. I don't know why I didn't swatch any of these other ones. It's just a pink. It's just a really pretty pink, kind of luminous. I do love a glowy blush, you guys. I do. Speaking of glowy blushes, this is Melt, and this is the shade Nevermore. Had to get this because of the name, because I am a Edgar Allan Poe freak, and The Raven is my favorite story of all time. So that is called Nevermore, and this is a blush lighter. So it is not necessarily a blush. It is a blush lighter. It is very, very glowy. Very glowy. So that is getting brought in. I had to bring in a couple of my Laura Geller blushes, the Baked Blush and Brighten, because they're just so beautiful. And this one is the shade Tropic Hues. And this has a very kind of a corally peachy shade. That is what it looks like. It's very light, but it's very pretty. And again, it has a glow to it because it is the baked formula. I also have the Blush and Brighten Berry. This is a more recent purchase. I got this from another creator, and it is such a pretty berry shade. I mean, it's called berry, so of course it is, but it is. It really is. I have two more blushes. This one is Urban Decay in the shade Video, and this came from a friend of mine. And I really like a neutral blush without being orange. And I think this is what's going to do it for me, because I don't like for my blushes to turn orange if I want them to be neutral. I do have some orangey blushes, but when I just want a regular neutral blush, I think that this is going to be that for me. It is very, very recent. And then finally for powder blush, I have the Phase Zero. This is in Making Moves, and it is a really pretty warm blush. This is more of a peachy blush. I got this in my giveaway from Donna, and it is so pretty. It is just a really light peachy shade. When I was going through my products and putting products back, I had a shade called Shelly that was the Benefit Wonderful Blushes. It is a beautiful peach, and I put that back and brought this in, and I might end up getting that back out because it is a beautiful peach blush, and I can get the packaging open a lot easier. There we go. But yeah, it is so pretty. So I'm really, really excited to try that. I've only swatched it. I've not used it yet. You guys, I was putting my trays away and I missed a cream blush because I need more, evidently. But I missed it. It was in my tray over here. And this is the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in the shade Ballet Slipper. It is another warm blush. You just need a tiny bit. Very tiny bit. Look how pigmented that is. Again, for very warm looks. You'll see when I show you my eyeshadow palettes why I have so many of the warm, darker, warm blushes. Because in the summertime, I love to be bronzy. Bronzy, gold, copper. I just love that so much. I do not have many highlighters pulled at all, but I do have some highlighters in face palettes that I will be using. But for the ones that I pulled for summer, I do have 3 cream highlighters, and this is the Tarte Blush Tape. Yes, blush tape. But for me, it is a highlighter. It is very light and very icy and glowy. See how pretty that is? I do love a pink highlighter, so I'm really excited to bring that in. I have 2 other cream highlighters. They're both ColourPop Super Shocks. This is in the shade Felicity, and you can see that big pan in there, and guess what? I want to finish it, so I'm going to keep this in until it's gone. But look at that. I use this to underpaint underneath my foundation. And then the other one is Flexitarian, OG Flexitarian. Again, has a nice pan in it. Not as big as the Felicity, but it does have a very nice pan in it. And this one's a little lighter. This one's a little darker. And this one's a little darker with a kind of a peachy pink reflect to it. So I think for summer, it'll be great. And then I only have 5 actual highlighters. I am not one that wears a lot of highlighter. I don't wear it to work at all. And half the time I just forget. I do. I just forget. So this is the Soul Body Shimmering Body Powder in the shade Soft Pink. This was in last season as well, but I'm keeping it in here because I love this highlighter. It is such a beautiful soft pink. I love a pink highlighter. I really do. And you can't even tell how much I've used this. Like, it's going to last forever. It's going to last forever. I also have the Nomad Sydney Bathers. The mirror came off of this, and I thought about taking it out of the package, but because it's kind of clunky. But I love this highlighter. It is a beautiful peach toned highlighter. I will swatch it for you. It is beautiful. I love that highlighter. And I took out my Wet n Wild Peachy Pink, so I put this one in to replace it. I have the Essence Pure Nude Be My Sunlight. This is not Be My Highlight. So it's a little bit darker, just a tiny, tiny bit, a little bit more golden, a little bit more bronzy, which will be great for summer. I have the Meet Mary Lou Luminizer. This is by The Balm. This was a gift from Jen, my girl Jen. And that is what it looks like. To me, this is a very understated highlighter, which is why I love it so much. Because as I said, don't wear a lot of highlighter. But it is a beautiful finish. It does have a very beautiful finish. And then lastly, I have the Huda Beauty Nymph Kiss in the shade Thea. And this is probably one of my, I want to say my favorite highlighters, but it is the most beautiful highlighter that I own. And that is what it looks like. And if I can tell you how much this has been used as far as highlighters go in my collection, and it still is absolutely gorgeous, this one is a very special highlighter. This is definitely a sultry summer night, out to dinner, and it is beautiful. I love that highlighter. It is probably at least 3 years old. I know that they've been discontinued. I do know that. But I can't remember how long ago I've had it. But oh my gosh. Here, let me do this. It's so pretty. Look at that. Oh, it's such a beautiful highlighter. I do already have highlighter on. We had date night tonight, but it was very cash date night. We went to a food truck festival. Now we are up to my favorite part of every seasonal makeup swap video, the eyeshadow. I have quite a few palettes sitting here in front of me and over here that I will be grabbing because I like variety. I have several palettes that have the same type of color story, but I like variety. I might not want this certain palette. I might want to use the other palette with that same color story. So keep that in mind. I am a neutral girl, but I do like to play in some color. So I have itty bitty eyeshadow palettes, clear up to big ginormous eyeshadow palettes here. I think there's like 30 of them. So put me on pause and go refill your water. I'm going to be here a minute. Okay, I have the MAC eyeshadow ×2. And this was actually a Christmas release, but it is in the shades Blazing Blizzard and Burgundy. The Blazing Blizzard is the matte, and the Burgundy is the shimmer. And while this was a Christmas release, I think these shades would be beautiful for summer as well. I have mentioned I love sultry summer night looks, especially, you're going out to dinner. It's 90 degrees outside, 100% humidity. Hair is this big because that's what it does. And, it's just, you're feeling a little sultry and a little sexy. So I have that. And then I have some ColourPop quads. I have the Acai You Baby. Never used it. Very, very pretty. I have the Creamsicle. No, I don't. I have the Citrus Fizz. Great for summer, lighter summer. You can do a complete look with this, but I think I would bring in a darker brown for like an outer corner. And then this is the creamsicle. Beautiful summer sherbet type shades. I have two Natasha Denona's here. This is the Natasha Denona Cranberry. If you saw my empties and purchases video where I showed this, I bought it from Mercari a couple months ago. This shade, and this shade all fell out while I was showing it. I did repress them. This one did not make it, unfortunately, but this is that cream to powder shade, which is beautiful dark burgundy, and this made it through just fine. It is absolutely stunning. And then we have these two shades, which I have not used, but I think will be great for summer. So part of me bringing this in is to use it and find out if it is salvageable as far as the formula. It swatches beautifully. I'm hoping that I can use it. If not, I didn't pay much for it. I really didn't. And when I got it, it was a bit dried out. It really was. My other Natasha Denona that I have in here is the Mini Biba. Again, very warm, very summery. And then I have this Wet n Wild Little Quint in the shades Petalette, in the color story Petalette. This is actually a newer purchase. I got this for like $3.29 on Amazon. And I bought it very recently because I was watching Z Dooley, who actually bought me this. But Z was using this for a get ready with me, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And so like a spring into summer type of color story. I do love these cool tones. Even though it's summer, I will still reach for my cool pinks, my cool mauves, that kind of thing. So we have the Pat McGrath. This is Celestial Nirvana Eyeshadow Palette in Nude Allure. This is pretty recent also. I got this at the end of last year when Leanna came to visit. She brought it with her because she was decluttering it, and I wanted to try it out. I also got this from Leanna, but this was a few years ago. She decluttered this. And this is the Beauty Creations Boudoir Shadows palette. I do like Beauty Creations. Beauty Creations and Be Bella are sister companies. I believe they're sister companies. And I think they have a really pretty formula. Is it the best formula? No, but it's very pretty. And I do enjoy their shadows. I have said this before. I have room in my collection for basic. This is a nice, basic, warm, neutral palette. And also, its sister company, Be Bella. I have the Oh Poppy palette. And again, very, very beautiful for summer, even summer leaning into fall. I got this from Ash. My friend Ash sent this to me. And it is a beautiful palette. I used this so much last summer, and I really enjoyed it. I have the Buxom Hot Toddy. This is very recently was given to me from a friend. And this quad right here, fiery and warm and summery. And I can't wait to use that. I have not used it yet. I've only swatched it. I have the ColourPop Peach Out. Used the heck out of this last summer as well. Beautiful, warm summer tones. And then I have the Nomad Toscana. This was given to me from by Erica Conger. She was decluttering it and asked me if I wanted it. And I said, absolutely I do, because I love Nomad. Plus, I love these warm tones. And this is a great palette. I've used this quite a bit, actually. I have all the little guys put away. I'm going to show you more normal sized palettes. These are in no particular order. The other ones I kind of did by size. These are no particular order. These are all kinds of different sizes. I have the Ace Beauté Flare. Now this palette is a very nice summer color story. I don't know if I want this. I decluttered this palette last year and then I brought it back out. I do love Ace Beauté's formula. So I'm going to try it out and see if I like it. And the other reason I'm bringing it in because I want to compare it to the Zendo. They're not the same. They have similarities. I don't need both of these. I know I'm keeping the Zendo, because even though it is not my favorite Natasha Denona palette, it is pretty and I do enjoy the looks that I get from it. But I do want to use them around the same time to see if I like both of them. Because if I don't really care for this, then I will declutter it. So let's talk about the Zendo a little bit more. Yeah, I love these tones for summer. These little pops of blue in here. We'll see. We'll see how these two fare against each other. I also have the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. I got this recently for my birthday from Mary Catherine Loves Cats, Laura the Bargain Hunter, and Cece from Panning for Goals, my friends. And I've used this probably about 5 times already. But I do want to keep it in. I do want to keep this in for summer because it is such a beautiful summer color story. Another recent purchase for me, and I honestly just want to use it. This is the Melt Smoke Sessions 2. I have wanted this palette for years. I've seen Donna from My New Obsession talk about this. Also, my friend Ash, Makeup and Chaos, has this palette. And every time I see it, I like, oh, I have to have it. And they had it for $24. Melt had it for $24. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. It is a little darker. And honestly, I will be using this as a companion palette because I'm not real thrilled with these 3 shades with these purples. I think these 3 shades are beautiful. I have shimmers that will go with those mattes that are going to look beautiful. But these need purples. These need a purple base or a darker outer corner, darker purple outer corner. You know what? This one, that one might be. Yeah, that's a really good purple. I just feel like these purples are more cool toned and these 3 mattes are warm toned. But I don't care. I wanted it. I got it. I'm going to use it. I'm excited. Another palette that might seem a little out of season is the Lunar Beauty 12 Days of Lunar. This was the advent calendar a couple of years ago. But when I look at this color story, I don't think of winter at all. I think of summer, spring, even fall. So I'm going to bring this in. I've only used it a few times and the looks that I created with it were beautiful. So I'm going to bring that in. And then a palette that I used all summer last summer and enjoyed so much is the Flamingo palette from Violet Voss. This is summer in a palette. Oh my gosh, look at those beautiful tones. I love this palette. I did this No Pan Left Behind, I think on Deck of Panning, and I really did have a good time using it. So I am bringing that in again for this summer. Okay, the next group, I'll show you at the end of the video. I'll save it till the end of the video. Plus, there's timestamps. That way, if you don't want to see the blushes and bronzers, you don't have to. If you want to just go straight to the eyeshadow palette, you can. I try to always do timestamps for you guys. So at the end of the video, I will show you how I store my palettes over here on top of my shelves so that they're easily accessible to me and they look nice and organized. So let's start with this group. I have the LA Girl Nudes Warm. I also got this in the giveaway from Donna. I just dropped the Flavor Saver. I just dropped the Flavor Saver and the brush. But I got this from Donna, My New Obsession, in her giveaway. So I haven't used this at all. That's why the saver was still on there. The color saver was still on there. I tend to take it off once I use it, but that's kind of how I know if I've used them or not, is the Flavor Saver is still on there. So I'm really looking forward to using this because I do like LA Girl. I like them as a brand. I have never owned one of their eyeshadow palettes, but I do like a lot of their products. And even better, they're very inexpensive. I have 3 of the Sweet Shop palettes from BH Cosmetics. I have 4 of them. The red one, the cherry on top, is over here. That'll come out in the fall because I feel like that's more of a fall color story for me. But these 3 are bright and beautiful. And guys, I miss BH so much. These shimmers and even the mattes, the formula on this is absolutely stunning. I missed out on these. And people were finding them at TJ Maxx and all of that. I couldn't find them. Ash, my friend Ash, decluttered them and sent them to me. They decided that they didn't want them anymore and sent them to me. And that was so nice, and I love them. I don't use them often because if you know me, you know I'm more of a neutral girl. But these, oh, this formula is beautiful. These shimmers are so beautiful. And this is that was the pistachio. This is the bubblegum, and it has all blues. And while I'm not a big wearer of blue eyeshadow, I do have a little BYOP of blue shimmers, indie brand shimmers that I have for my deck panning. And I thought that this would be really great to incorporate with that. Maybe make me use them a little bit. And then the cotton candy, which is probably my favorite of the three, because I do love purples. And I love this type of, it's not really a lilac. It's just a really pretty purple. It has a little bit more blue to it. I do love cool purples more than I love warm purples. And when I do looks, it's usually with cool purples. But yes, these formulas are beautiful. The Huda Mercury Retrograde. This has been in all spring. It's staying in for summer because I love this palette. And these shades are so summer. They're very spring too. They're so summer. I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing the mattes. I'm wearing this, this, this. That's in my inner corner. And then I have some Devinah shadows on my lid. But I can't put this back yet. Plus, I do a quarterly palette ranking, all of the palettes that I used for that quarter. I do that, and I've been using this, and I'm going to continue using this until the quarter's over, at least. I might use it. I might use it more than that. I don't know. I love this palette. I think I got this really cheap on BoxyCharm. The Unearthly Dreamer Volume 2. This is in a project right now, so I'm keeping it in for that. I have to use these two shades, but also because I'm not done using it yet. I got this from Ash for my birthday, and I'm not done using it yet because it is freaking stunning. And I'm keeping it in. I am. I have the Ace Beauté Paletteopoly. The reason that this is in here is because I'm contemplating whether or not to declutter it. I've only used it. I didn't think I had used it at all, but I think I have. I think I have used it. I'm looking at it, and I know I've used this shimmer right here, but it looks like some of these other shimmers have some dips in them. So evidently I did use it at one time or a couple times, but I'm not a huge fan of rainbow palettes. Now you will see rainbow palettes, and those are the ones that I love. If I can do a complete look with a palette, I'm more likely to keep it. I'm not sure I can do a complete look with this. I might be able to. But see, here's the deal. I don't wear these types of pinks. Like my pinks are more of a mauve pink or more of a like raspberry. I do not wear yellows at all. I think this was a palette bingo, and that's why I used it. These are all neutrals, of course. We know I'm going to use those. I will use the purples. I will use these shades here. I probably won't use the blues. So there's 3 rows that I wouldn't use. I have these shades in other palettes that I know that I will use. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to see if it's something that I can't live without. We have our last group of palettes. I know I have a lot of palettes in here. I love them so much, and I enjoy using different palettes daily. Now there are some palettes like the Mercury Retrograde that I've used at least 8 times since I brought it in for spring. But yeah, there are palettes that I use over and over again, but there's other palettes that I want to try that I haven't used or whatever. So let's just go ahead and get started. I have the Sigma Cor de Rosa palette. Such a beautiful palette. I really wanted the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I know that this is a very nice dupe for it. I got this in the Sigma Ambiance at the same time, and I can't wait to use it. I cannot wait. I have the BH Galaxy Chic palette. I try to put one of my BH shimmer palettes, baked shimmer palettes in every quarter because they're beautiful. I don't want to neglect them. They are quite old, and I Just want to use as much of them as I can before they get so old that I can't use them anymore, that they don't perform anymore. So for spring, I had the Aurora Lights in. So this is the Galaxy Chic. This is a very old palette in my collection, at least 5 years old. I have the Beauty Bay Retro Love. I brought this in for spring and I didn't use it. So I'm going to try to use it this time. I've only used this like twice since I got it. One of them was a collab with Ash. And then the other time, if you can believe it, if you know me, you can believe it, I used the neutral shades. Colorful palette, I used the neutral shades. Which brings me back to this one because I'm telling myself that while I'm testing this out to see if I want to keep it, I am not allowed to use these neutral shades. You guys, I can't use them. I need to use this other stuff first because I can't keep this palette just for the neutrals. I'm keeping in the Glamlight Ice Cream Dream because it's also summer. I love this. I have been using this so much. I've been using the neutrals. But they're beautiful neutrals. They are absolutely stunning neutrals. I have used the purples in this. I promise you I have. And I believe I used a couple of the oranges also. I'm pretty sure I did at least one look with oranges because in my Beauty A to Z, I have some shades that went with them and I'm trying to use those as well. So yeah, I am going to keep this in for another quarter, for another season. I have the Melt Amor y Mariposa. Beautiful. When I was talking about sultry summer night makeup, I love this palette. This palette is so beautiful. And I am so excited that I got it. It was a limited release. And I'm so happy that I have it. But I have done several looks with this. I did a sunset eye look with this. Sultry summer nights. You guys. Sultry summer nights. I'm gonna say it again. No, I'm not. I have the ColourPop Smokin' Hot palette. Sultry summer nights. Look at these. These are so coppery and bronzy and warm and gold and fiery, and I love that for summer. I don't know why I'm holding this upside down. It doesn't have a mirror. Habit. But yes, and there are a couple of, maybe there's just one. This right here is a pressed glitter. I will not be using that. Matter of fact, I might take it out. Stand by. I'm not going to take it out right now because, I mean, they are magnetic, but I'm not going to take it out right now because I don't have a place to put it right this second. So, but that is a pressed glitter. I don't think. Yeah, that's a pressed glitter as well. This is a little bit more fine. This is a little bit more finely milled than this one. This one's a little chunkier, but I love all the other shimmers and these mattes are perfection. I love the ColourPop Mega Palettes. I have never had a bad look from a ColourPop Mega Palette. I have this one, the Stone Cold Fox, which, if you know, she's my favorite. She's my favorite. I have the Aurora Struck, and I have the It's a Mood. And I just love them all very, very much. I have the Inslee Rain Light in Your Eyes palette. I've never used this. I bought it, and then all of the snafu stuff came out, and I just kind of put it on the shelf. But you know what? I paid really good money for this palette, and I'm going to use it. So I thought that while this kind of does lean a little bit fall, I think I could also get some really nice summer looks out of this because I just basically want to use the palette. I have 3 from them. 2 of them were gifts from friends who gave them out of love, and I am going to use them because I love those people, and I really do love the formula. So I bought this one. I'm going to use it. I have the Glamlight Cake palette. And I do still have the outer packaging for this, but I can't fit it on my shelf over there. And again, kind of a rainbow palette. Not my favorite thing, but I love Glamlight so much. And I love older Glamlight so much. I'm not as enamored with newer glam light. I'm just saying. Enough with the collabs, people. Enough with the damn collabs. Just make a pretty palette, please. Please just make a pretty palette. I just love Glamlight's formula. But anyway, this purple up here is just so pretty. Look at that purple. I love purples. And this red velvet is probably, I'm not a red eyeshadow wearer, but that red velvet is one of my favorite reds. It is so pigmented and it is an actual red shade. It's not pink. It's not purple. It's not burgundy. It is red. And I love this palette. As much as I don't love rainbow palettes, I do love this palette. And as much as I don't love yellow, look at that. Look at that. That's so pretty. All right. And then finally, we have the Be Perfect Carnival 3 Love Tahiti with Stacey Marie. The names of these palettes are so long. I have the Antidote. Is it the Carnival 4 Antidote with Stacey Marie? This is Summer in a Palette. That is a summer freaking palette. Is it a little rainbowy? Yes. Have I ever used it? Once. I think I've used this once, and I've had it like 3 years. I bought this and the Antidote at the same time. And the Antidote I use all fall and part of winter, and I freaking love it. It looks way more loved than this one does. I have used these purples. Let me swatch them for you because they're freaking gorge. Look at those purples. Look at those. Love them. Love them. Because I've swatched mostly purples, let me swatch 2 others. I've got the Tahiti Green and the shade Rum. Look at this green. Not a green wearer, but that's gorge. And I might actually wear that. Let me know in the comments, are you a seasonal makeup wearer? Do the seasons influence you on what you're wearing? Because they sure do me. And I am so excited to be using these palettes. I see some bright, colorful makeup in my future, which if you know me, that's not really me, but I'm really excited to use them. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later. I almost forgot to film this. This is how I store my everyday palettes, the palettes that I have beside me, my Shop My Stash palettes, whatever you want to call it. This is just a metal file folder that I got at a thrift store years ago. It had been sitting in a closet for so long, and I saw it one day when I was cleaning out that room, and I had a vision of storing my palettes in here beside me. So my regular palettes are on a bookshelf over here behind me. This is really easy. This is my mirror. I usually keep it here when I don't want it on my desk. So it's a really easy way to have them beside me and be nice and organized.